Today we are going to read a book called Ron's Big Mission.
The book is written by Rose Ballou and Corinne Maiden and illustrated by Don Tate. Okay.
And there is Ron's house. Doesn't the sky look so beautiful?
Absolutely, Anna.
Thank you, Mama. This is Ron's room, and Ron is looking up at space. There's a mobile, but he's not really a baby. Deal with it. You heard me?
I heard you.
Okay.
And we are going to read.
You're up early this morning, Ron.
Right.
What's the rush? asked Mrs. McNair. Come and have your breakfast. I made some oatmeal. I have to go, Mama, said Ron, tying his sneakers. I have something to do this morning. You always have something to do this morning, said his mother with a smile. Just be home by lunchtime, okay? And there's his mother making oatmeal. And there is Ron tying his shoes.
So beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And there is Ron.
I'll put these away.
Ron was 9 years old. That morning, he left his house with a plan. He had been thinking about it for a long time. It was a beautiful South Carolina summer day, and Ron looked up at the blue, blue sky. Someday, he thought, he would be up there flying a plane. He wanted to be a pilot when he grew up. But today, Ron had something else on his mind. Something very important.
It's so important.
And you can see he's thinking.
And he's looking up at a plane in the sky.
Yeah.
And really, that's the picture from the cover, except from the buildings and the grass and trees.
That is so true, Anna.
Thank you.
Here we go.
And here is the baker, and he has something for Ron.
We're going to learn what that is. Ron walked down the street as fast as he could. He didn't want to be late. Hi, Ron, the grocer called from the front of his store. There you are, just in time for a donut. A donut? Who wouldn't want a donut?
I would want one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Morning, Mr. Douglas, said Ron. Thank you, but there is some place else that I've got to be.
And Ron kept on walking. And there's fresh baked and bread ice cream. There's his shop, and there are the donuts, and he's selling them to Ron, but he doesn't want them. And there's juicy apples, rice cereal, and candy.
No donut today.
I want Dunkin' Donuts.
Your turn.
Down by the schoolyard, Ron saw his friend Carl shooting baskets. All right, you made it, called Carl. Hi, Carl, said Ron. I wish you could stay, but I've got something important to do. More important than playing basketball on summer vacation? Said Carl. Are you kidding? Ron laughed. He'd love to play basketball, but not today. Today was too important, and Ron kept on walking and walking.
This is Ron, running fast, walking fast.
And there's his friend Carl shooting baskets. And there is the grocer's in a teeny tiny little building. And he's looking outside at Ron.
That's right, Anna. Good observation. And here we go. We're going to learn what Ron is doing in here.
What is he doing?
Okay, we're going to find out, Anna. When Ron got to the Lake City Public Library, he stopped. This was it. He was hot from walking so fast. And he was nervous too. He took a deep breath and he kept his head high up and went inside. Mrs. Scott was busy getting ready for all the people who would be using the library today. As the head librarian, she had to make sure that everything was neat and orderly.
Mrs. Scott looked up to welcome her first visitor of the day. She smiled as Ron walked in. He was her best customer. Ron gave a little wave to Mrs. Scott and went right to the shelves. And there's Mrs. Scott with a smile waving to Ron. And there's Ron giving a wave. Ooh, and look at this girl. Do you know who that is? We'll find out.
That's right, Anna. We're going to find out what happens next in the story.
It took Ron a while to find some books. He always looked for books that showed children who looked like him, but it was hard. There were not many books about black kids on the shelves. At last, Ron found books on airplanes. He took the books and started to walk to the front desk. Ron felt nervous and his hands felt sweaty, a little sweaty, but he knew what he wanted to do. Mrs. Fetting, a white lady who was often in the library, just stopped him. You can give me the books and I'll check them out for you, Ron, she said gently. No thanks, Mrs. Fetting, said Ron. Ron said, I am going to do it all by myself. But Ron, she started to say. And there is some kids checking out some books with their dad. And there is Ron with Mrs. Fetting.
Nice reading, Anna. Ron was already on his way to the front desk. He put the books on the counter. Just like you do when you go to the library, right?
Mm-hmm.
You bring the books to the front desk to check out.
And you already know this is a library.
That's right.
And who is this lady? We are going to find out right now.
That's right.
I'd like to check out these books, please, said Ron. The desk clerk did not look at him. Didn't she hear me? Ron wondered. Ron knew what he had to do. And now you know. That's the girl. That is the desk clerk. And there is Ron putting the books on the desk.
That's right. Let's find out what happens next.
Yes. Oh. This does not look good.
Nope. Let's see what's going to happen. He jumped up on the counter.
Ooh.
He wanted the desk clerk to know he was serious.
I'd like to check out these books, he said quietly. At first, the desk clerk and Mrs. Scott looked at each other. You know you can't check out books, Ron, said Mrs. Scott. You can read them here. That's the rule. Only white people can check out books from the library. Ron looked at Mrs. Scott and the desk clerk politely, but he would not budge. I always read them here. Today, I want to check them out, said Ron. Mrs. Scott and the desk clerk did not know what to do. Ron wouldn't get off the counter. People were staring. Finally, the desk clerk called the Lake City Library, the police. And there's a man that's angry at Ron because he's stand on the desk. And there is the desk clerk and Mrs. Scott. And there is Mrs. Fetting. And there are some kids.
That's right.
And there's a mom.
Thank you, Anna. My turn now. We're going to hear what happens next. The policemen came right over. Of course, because they were called to come over, right? Let someone check out the books for you, son, said one of the policemen. You know the rules. You know the rules. But Ron just shook his head. He would not budge. Do you blame Ron, Anna?
No, I never blame Ron.
I would not blame Ron either, right?
Yeah, I just let him check out the books if I were the desk clerk.
Yeah, but they said to him that was not the rule.
Yeah.
He couldn't do that.
Yes.
So let's find out what happened next.
Or we could not tell you what comes next.
You have to find out for yourself.
Yeah.
Look.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. Let's see what's happening here. Now, Mrs. Scott called Ron's mother, Mrs. McNair.
Ooh.
And she came right over to the library. She came quickly too.
Ooh.
I know how you feel,
Ooh.
baby, she said. But you have to follow the rules. I can't, Mama, Ron told her. It's wrong. The rules are not fair. Why can't I check out books like everyone else? No one said anything. Not the desk clerk, not Mrs. Scott, not the policeman, not even Ron's mother. Mrs. Scott looked at Ron. She thought about all the times that Ron came into the library and all the times he sat at the tables for hours looking over so many books. He was her best customer, and she knew exactly what she had to do. Anna, what would you do if you were Mrs. Scott?
I would. Well, I don't know what I'd do.
But you would do the right thing, right?
Yes.
You would do the right thing.
And look, there's Ron, his mother, the policeman, and Mrs. Scott.
That's right. So let's find out next, okay?
Yeah, we can't tell you. You have to find out for yourself.
That's right. Okay.
Mrs. Scott walked into her office and started writing. Ron wondered what she was doing. And there's Mrs. Scott writing something. We don't know what it is.
We're going to find out soon.
Yeah, or you'll find out. And there is Ron and his mother, but mostly Ron and the policeman. And one of the policemen are looking at Mrs. Scott, wondering what she's doing.
That's right.
You have to find out. Mrs. Scott returned and handed Ron a library card.
Was that what she was doing, Anna?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That is what she was doing. his library card. Ron looked at Mrs. Scott and smiled as he jumped to the floor. He thought he saw her smile too. "I'd like to check out these books, please," he said, handing the card to the desk clerk. The desk clerk took his library card and stamped the cards in the back books. Stamped the cards in the back of the books. These books are due back in 2 weeks, he said, and that's a long time. But look, Ron is smiling, and there is his mother smiling and clapping, and there's Mrs. Scott smiling, and there is Ron handing his library card to the desk clerk.
That's right.
And so it says, Ron, Lake City Library. That's what his library card said.
He did something that was very brave.
Yes.
Wasn't that true?
And we might find out somewhere in this book what he did. What else he did.
Let's see. So Ron smiled and said, "Thank you." So he tucked the books under his arm and took his mother's hand. And together they walked home. Ron couldn't wait to get to his room.
And there's Ron looking up at the plane and pointing. And there's his neighborhood, and there's his mom walking with Ron on his sidewalk. And Ron's holding the books.
That's right. That's right.
And open to page 1. And there's Ron reading this book.
See, this is Ron. Wow, something that he loves to do.
Yeah.
He loves to read.
I guess we'll find out what else he did. And his doctor's note. And this Ron in real life.
This is Ron.
Mommy.
Many of you may recognize the real picture of Ron McNair. And Anna's going to read a little bit about that, and I'll finish it.
Yes. The boy who was Ron McNair grew into a man who flew planes just like he dreamed he would do. He became an astronaut. Today, everyone in Lake City remembers him. They remember him every time they walk into the library. The red brick building on 234 Main Street were painted with Main Street is a special place. The walls in the children's room were painted with pictures to show children the reading books under a huge oak tree. A space shuttle flies through the sky. Inside the library, anyone can get a card and check out books. Young Ron McNair had a dream. On the day in 1959, he made a start to come true. Because of him, many young people have a chance to dream. Once told a group of children, "You are eagles, spread your wings and fly to the sky." Years later, in 1968, astronaut Ron McNair once again was a hero. He lost his wife when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded on January 28th. Sad, huh? It was 8. The loss of an entire crew. And the loss of an entire crew. The Lake City Public Library was dedicated to astronaut McNair.
Okay, I'll take it from you. Okay, so again, this happened in 1986, right? This was when astronaut Ron McNair lost his life. Okay?
Sad, huh?
Very, very, very sad.
Yeah.
So this story is a fictionalized account of a real incident in Ron McNair's life. There are several versions of this story. This version comes from interviews with Ron's mother, the late Mrs. McNair, and Gloria Wilson, administrative assistant to the director of library systems in Florence County, South Carolina, and Gloria Tisdale of the Lake City Public School District. We thank them for their help in reconstructing their inspirational story. Except for Mrs. McNair and Ron, all of the character names are fictional.
Which means they are all made up.
They all made up, they're not true. So thank you. This was a beautiful, beautiful piece of story that we just read to you. This is something that shows the bravery of a young man
named Ron McNair. And once again, if you didn't get the title of the book, it's called Ron's Big Mission.
And then you can get it anywhere, from the bookstore or from Amazon. Or just Google it and you'll get more information about it. Thank you for
seeing this book with us. See you later.
Bye.